Hello, holiday heroes. Welcome back to World Traveler Wednesday with Miss Rosie. I am very excited about the place that we are going to be traveling to today because it is tropical and warm and sunny. And as we all know, we can use a little more sunshine here in Oregon. So don't forget to grab your World Traveler Wednesday folder so you can have your passport and your map and your reflection sheet. So let's get started. Today, we are traveling to Indonesia. Before we fly in, here are a few fun facts about Indonesia. It is slightly less than 3 times the size of Texas, or about 3 times the size of France. It takes about a 16-hour flight from London to reach Jakarta, which is in Indonesia, 22 hours from New York, and 7.5 hours from Sydney, Australia. Indonesia is quite large with its easternmost point and westernmost point stretching further than the continental United States. Indonesia is also the world's largest archipelago, with an estimated 17,000 to 18,000 islands. What's an archipelago, you ask? Sometimes called an island group or an island chain, is a chain, cluster, or collection of islands, or sometimes a sea containing a small number of scattered islands. So basically just a bunch of islands all put together. Indonesia is, as we just said, an archipelago between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, and it is the largest island country in the world. The country is referred to as transcontinental as it is located on the 2 continents of Asia and Oceania. Indonesia borders 3 other nations, Malaysia, Papua New Guinea, and East Timor. The capital of Indonesia is Jakarta on the island of Java. Consisting of some 17,500 islands along the equator between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, it ranks as the world's 4th most populous country. The most important islands of Indonesia are Java, Bali, Borneo. The islands of Indonesia spread out about 3,300 miles from east to west and 1,300 miles from north to south. More than 7,000 of the islands are uninhabited, meaning no one lives there. The country's total land and sea area is more than 3 million square miles. Despite the large number of islands, 5 of them account for more than 90% of the land area and the majority of the population. These are Sumatra, Java, Sulawesi, and the portions of the islands of Borneo and New Guinea that are politically part of Indonesia. Winter decided to join us because she's not really feeling well, so she needs to be with me. So, most of the islands of Indonesia are mountainous. The lowland areas, with a few exceptions, are relatively small. Most of Indonesia's mountains are the products of mountain building forces associated with the intersection of 2 blocks or plates of the Earth's crust, the Pacific Plate and the Indian Ocean Plate, which meet in Indonesia. These plates have long been moving slowly into the Eurasian Plate. The resulting pressure pushed up mountain ranges and created the numerous volcanoes of Indonesia, the contorted shapes of islands such as the Sulawesi, and the ocean deeps such as the Java Trench. This trench is located south of Java, is about 24,000 feet deep. Indonesia has roughly 220 active volcanoes. They are in a zone that runs mainly through western Sumatra and its offshore islands, central and southern Java, Bali, and Lombok, and into the lesser Sunda Islands. A smaller zone of volcanoes lies in the northern parts of the Sulawesi and Moluccas Islands. The non-volcanic areas of western Indonesia are on a southern extension of the Eurasian landmass known as the Sunda Shelf. In eastern Indonesia, such non-volcanic areas are on the northern extension of the Australian landmass called the Sula Shelf. The land areas of the shelves are alluvial lowlands or eroded uplands. The highest mountain peak of Indonesia is the Puncak Jaya in the Jayawijaya Mountains. The mountain summit is at 16,024 feet. Here, you can experience snow in a tropical country. The mountain is located on the island of Papua. The Kapuas River is the longest river in Indonesia, a part of the Borneo Island. At 710 miles in length, it is not only the longest river in Indonesia, but also one of the longest rivers in the world. The vegetation found in Indonesia is typical of the tropics. There are approximately 40,000 species of flowering plants, including 5,000 species of orchids. Among the most notable native plants is the monster flower, which is pictured on the left, which is the largest flower in the world. More than 3,000 tree species can be found across Indonesia. These include the sandalwood, the rattan, which is pictured in the middle, and valuable timber varieties such as teak and ironwood. In the hills and lowlands below 5,000 feet are lush tropical rainforests, which is pictured on the right. Only a small portion of Indonesia's forests have ever been cut or burned. Mangrove tree swamps are common among the shores of alluvial lowlands, including most of Sumatra's east coast. The animals in Indonesia are mostly of Asian origin. They include monkeys, orangutans, and gibbons, which are a type of ape, and the Sumatran rhinoceros. The country is also home to a variety of Asian birds and a giant monitor lizard, the Komodo dragon. In eastern Indonesia, however, you'll find Australasia animals, so think Australia, kangaroo, through marsupials, which are mammals with pouches, and birds of non-Asian origin. Like all tropical regions, Indonesia has many insects. Among the most unusual are the giant walking stick, which is pictured at the bottom right, the stick-like bug on the person's hand, and the Atlas beetle, which is the beetle up at the top left with the weird claw thing. Notable bird species include the Sumatran drongo, which is at the bottom left with the pretty blue colored bird, and the peacock, which is up at the top right. Thousands of species of fish are found in Indonesia's waters. Increasingly, however, human activities from logging to hunting and poaching pose severe threats to many species of both plants and animals, including the critically endangered Sumatran rhinoceros and Sumatran tiger. Speaking of the Komodo dragon, the Komodo National Park was founded in 1980 to protect the Komodo dragon, the world's largest lizard. Later, it was dedicated to protecting other species, including marine species. In 1991, the national park was declared an UNESCO World Heritage Site. Komodo National Park has been selected as one of the new 7 wonders of nature. Komodo Islands is also a part of the Coral Triangle, which contains some of the richest marine biodiversity on the earth. Yogyakarta is the place of the largest Buddhist temple in the world, Candi Borobudur. This is one of the most famous tourist attractions in Indonesia. More than 700 living languages are spoken in Indonesia. Most of them have an Austronesian base. Indonesia developed an official national language because of the great variety of native tongues spoken in the country. All Indonesian school children are required to learn this language called Bahasa Indonesia or Indonesian. It was developed from Malay trade, one of the most widespread hybrid languages used by Indonesians. Bahasa Indonesia also contains elements borrowed from other Malay languages, particularly Javanese. English is taught in schools as well. By all estimates, Indonesia is one of the most linguistically diverse countries in the world. Indonesian is spoken by over 94% of the population, but it is the primary language of only 20% of the population. Javanese is the most common primary language spoken by over 30% of the population. About 87% of the Indonesian population are Muslims, which means about 239 million Muslims reside in Indonesia.
Interestingly, the country of Indonesia has the biggest population of Muslims residing in it in the world. Indonesians are known for being very warm and welcoming, especially to foreigners. Indonesia's motto is put into practice here with the term Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, which means unity in diversity. Everyone can live side by side, no matter your background, skin color, language, anything. Families are as close as they come. No matter how old or independent they are, Indonesians tend to keep tight relationships with members of their family. For many Indonesian youths, moving out of parents' house is simply not a thing, even when they have already a stable income of their own. Many choose to live under their parents' roof unless they absolutely have to. Many Indonesians leave their hometown to get a job in the city. Religious commitments come first. When in Indonesia, you'll see Balinese present their offerings first thing in the morning, or employees dropping everything for prayer time. No matter what religion they uphold, Indonesians are generally very spiritual. They take their religious practices very seriously, and that is reflected in daily rituals, ceremonies, even the grandness of their places of worship, such as the one pictured here. There are 6 religions in Indonesia. As we just discussed, it is notorious with its huge population of Muslims, the largest in the world despite being a secular country by law, but Islam is just one of 6 official religions acknowledged in the country. The others include Islam, Protestantism, Catholicism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. In Bali, for example, the dominant religion is Hinduism, and there are neighborhoods where there are more Christians than Muslims. Indonesia's diversity extends to the variety of belief systems as well. Many communities still live traditionally and still uphold the religions and practices of their ancestors, often unique to the locality. But to categorize, many belief systems draw from animism, dynamism, and totemism. In some communities, those beliefs interact with traditions or influenced by another mainstream religion, resulting in a myriad of unique practices. Every place has a legend in Indonesia. It's fascinating to learn the geological processes that make mountains, hills, and rivers, but Indonesians go beyond tectonic plates and erosion to explain how natural landmarks come to be. In most places, you can talk to the locals and dig stories of gods, spirits, royals, or hermits that contribute to the forming of a particular spot, like natural features, temples, or other cultural landmarks. Here, pictured on the left, is from the legend of the original Malin Kundang, which is a story that is set at a specific location, the Air Manis Beach in Padang, West Sumatra. Malin Kundang tells the story of an ungrateful son who was cursed into stone by his mother. If you visit the beach, you can see a stone believed to be the cursed Malin Kundang because it is shaped like a person face down on his knees, begging for forgiveness. Indonesians celebrate everything. From a child's first step on the ground to certain months of pregnancy, many cultures in Indonesia have special ceremonies for even the tiniest milestones. Many cultures also make a huge deal out of life events like weddings and funerals, mixing them with mesmerizing traditional customs and celebrations. These are also communal celebrations like a myriad of different ceremonies of harvest or Thanksgiving, or special dates associated with legends or history. Indonesians are traditional, and no, not talking about living in traditional remote villages, such as what we learned last week in Ethiopia. Many Indonesians who find themselves in modern settings still find ways to integrate their traditions and cultural values into the contemporary lifestyles. Some companies still consult traditional almanacs or spiritual elders to determine a good day to do business, and many young professionals still throw traditional ceremonies for their weddings, whether out of the family's demands or out of their own beliefs, but the traditions still live on. Indonesians love making and performing arts. Indonesia's rich culture bring about so many inspired works of art, paintings, sculpture, music, dance, theater, and more. From the ancient times to contemporary era, Indonesian artists keep drawing inspiration from the archipelago's culture, values, and nature, ensuring the art scene stays alive and progressing. Another one of my favorite types of food, Indonesian cuisine. So satay ayam, which is also chicken satay, is usually grilled chicken sautés on skewers, usually served with a spicy peanut sauce, which is pictured under my face right here to your left. This beef rendang is a special caramelized dry beef curry made with slow braised beef meat and lots of spices and aromatic herbs, which is in the middle. Nasi goreng is one of the most popular Indonesian dishes. It is a fried rice dish and usually served with satay, peanut sauce, prawn crackers, and sambal, which is hot and spicy sauce. Mie goreng is a very similar dish to nasi goreng, but is made with noodles instead of rice. Mai goreng means fried noodles. Lapis legit is also called the 1,000-layer cake, which is pictured again under my face up on the left. This cake is made with lots of eggs, butter, flour, and lots of spices such as anise, cinnamon, and cloves. Lapis singkong is another popular layered cake, which is usually made with tapioca flour and in 3 multicolored layers. Coconut shredding is sprinkled on top for decoration, and that is pictured to your right. Thank you so much for traveling to Indonesia with me today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and comment whether or not you've tried Indonesian food or what your favorite part of the video was. I would love to know. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give a comment on any video so you will be entered into a weekly drawing for a special sun prize. I will see you all next week for another World Traveler Wednesday.